Constraint retargeting isn't a topic I've seen many retargeting tutorials cover, and for good reason, being the existence of add-ons like Rococo, which make retargeting in Blender easier and faster. And while yes, the add-ons are effective in what they do, problems arise when the resulting animations come out having foot sliding, or messed up finger rotations, or in some cases both. When these problems arise, the cleanup process can prove to be quite time-consuming. However, I think that constraint retargeting, while taking a bit longer than add-ons like Rococo, offer a more precise base for easier cleanup, which is what we are going to be looking at today. As you can see, I have this wonderful animation that I got from Character Creator 4, which I imported as FBX format into Blender. But don't worry, the method that I'm going to show you today works with every rig, even the ones from Mixamo. It might even work for complex rigs, like this one from Unreal Engine. Once you have everything set up, select the source rig and set it up in the rest position. Adjust the source rig to match the target rig's position. If your source rig has a root bone, hide it in the Edit and Pose mode. Select the source armature and the target armature together and switch to Pose mode. For this tutorial, we are going to be using the IK rig controls. There are plenty tutorials for how to set up IK controls in your rig on YouTube, so I'm not going to get into that here. Select the foot IK left control of your target rig and add a copy location bone constraint. Set the target to the base left foot control of your source rig. As you can see, the target foot snaps to the source foot's location, which is better than moving it manually. Adjust the foot IK until the target foot matches the position of the source foot. Apply the copy location constraint, then add a child of constraint to the foot IK left control. If the foot's position gets messed up, don't worry. Just press the Set Inverse button and it fixes the problem. Repeat the process for the right foot. Select both the right and left thigh bone, or the calf twist bone, depending on your source armature, and extrude the head in the Y-axis. Select your left shin IK control and add a copy location bone constraint with the target as the left extruded bone. Set the head/tail to 1. Repeat the process for the right shin IK control. Select the hip bone and add a child of constraint with the target as the source hip or pelvis bone. Make sure that the positioning matches beforehand. That's why I chose to have the source bone in rest mode. For the spine bones, a copy rotation constraint with the target and owner set to world space should work just fine. Leave the spine bone directly above the hip bone as is. As you can see, for me, my source bone did not have a third spine, but rather a very long second spine to deform both the upper chest and the lower chest. So I decided to have the target rig upper spine copy the rotation of the source's second spine with an influence of 0.5. As you can see, the facial bone of my source rig is facing a different direction to the head bone of my target rig. I extruded the head of the facial bone along the Z-axis and used Ctrl-R to adjust the orientation of the extrusion to match the orientation of the target head bone. Make sure to enable the axis in the viewport display for each armature. We are going to have a lot of these additional bones for the shoulders and the fingers, so right now is a good time to group them. Add a copy rotation constraint to the neck and the head bones. The target of the head bone should be the extruded facial bone. This is what we have so far. For the hands, we are going to repeat the same process as for the legs. a copy location bone constraint to snap the hands in position of the source's corresponding hands control, a rotation adjustment to match the orientation, and a child of constraint with the target as the source's corresponding hands control. For the elbow IK, extrude the head of the forearm bone of your source along the Y-axis. Add a copy location constraint to the IK elbow of your target rig, and set the head-tail value to 1. For this one, we are going to apply the copy location constraint and add a child of constraint to the elbow IK. That way we have OR control over the elbow when it's following the animation. This is what we have so far. Select the shoulder clavicle bone and switch to edit mode. Duplicate the bone or extrude it from the head. Press Ctrl R and rotate it so it matches the target armature's shoulder bone orientation. Make sure the head and tail position match the original. If you duplicated the shoulder bone, unparent it from the spine and parent it to the original clavicle bone. I chose to extrude it, so I used the stretch to bone constraint with the target bone as the upper arm. Select the target armature's shoulder bone and add a copy rotation bone constraint. The target and owner can be set to world space or local space. Repeat the process for the right shoulder. After the whole process, my rig deformation was causing problems with my character's shape keys. But this is a problem unique to my character. I figured this would be a good opportunity to show you the benefits of constraint retargeting. I cleaned up by adjusting the influence of whichever bone I wanted to fix, adding a key frame and moving it accordingly. The whole process took me 20 minutes. Next, the fingers. Duplicate the fingers or extrude each finger from its head. In this case, duplicating is much faster. Do not clear the parent. Group the fingers, and make sure each finger's head and tail position matches its corresponding original. Select the thumb duplicates, and make sure the orientation matches the target armature's thumb orientation with Ctrl-R. Do the same for the fingers. Make sure they match the target armature's finger orientation. Add a stretch-to-bone constraint to all duplicates with the target as the bone connected to the corresponding original source armature's fingers' tails. For my case, you'll notice that my duplicate last bone for the nail part of the finger has no bone to stretch to. An easy fix for this is extruding the original corresponding bone, as I did here, and use it as a target for the stretch-to-bone constraint. Select all the target fingers and add a copy rotation constraint with the target and owner set to local space. Copy to selected. Set each finger's target to their corresponding duplicated finger bones. As you can see, the fingers deform perfectly. No cleanup needed for them. Repeat the process for the toes or the toe base. This is the final result, with the only cleanup being the shoulders. Feel free to now bake your animation if you feel satisfied with it. If you learned something, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.